Hello guys, Ms. Cullen here, and today we are going to do pages 47 through 49, more review on factoring for your Unit 8 test coming up and for your homework quiz coming up. So, the first thing I want you guys to do here is try number 1 and 2 as a warm-up. This is on page 47. Okay, I'd like you to pause the video, try these as a warm-up first, kind of test yourself, see what you know so far, and then you can kind of use me as a guide to see if you are getting the correct answers or not and you're understanding it or not. Okay, I'm not there to assess you, so you have to do some self-assessment to see if you understand the material or if not. Okay, if not, you got to reach out to me and ask some questions. If you do understand it, this will be some good affirmation for you. Okay, I gave you some hints here. The steps that you're taking as you're going through these problems, the first thing you should always be asking yourself is there a GCF that I can take out? Okay, if there is, you automatically take it out. Then you're asking yourself, okay, is A greater than 1? All right, if it's not greater than 1, if it's just 1, you can set up the X method. Okay, but if it's greater than 1, we have to use one of our box methods. All right, so please pause the video for a second and follow these steps, try it out, and press play when you're ready. Okay, after you have tried these, the first one you're asking yourself, is there a GCF? And you should have answered no. There's no GCF. Okay, my next thing is A greater than 1? A is in front of this variable here, and it is 1. So that's awesome. That means I can just set up my X method, and I can find two numbers that multiply to negative 48 and that add to 2n. Okay, so we can start kind of including those n's in there if that helps you. You don't have to. You just need to know how to write it in factored form. That's another way to think about it, though. So how do we find these two numbers, Miss Cullen, is some questions that I've been getting from people. Okay, so here's what I'm going to write on the side. Okay, you want to find factors of 48. So what are two numbers that multiply to 48? Now, you might not just know this on the top of your head. That's fine. Use your calculator. So to use your calculator to find these, you're going to start with, well, you're going to do 48 and then divide it by each number. Now, we already know that 48 divided by 1 is just 48, right? So we can start with 48 divided by 2. Okay, so that's 2 and 24. Okay, is that going to give me 2 by any chance? No. So I'm going to try again. Let's see. 48 divided by 3. 3 and 16. Okay, will that give me 2? No, 16 minus 3 or 3 minus 16 will not give me 2. I'm going to keep going here. 48 divided by 4. 4 and 12. Will that give me 2? No, 12 minus 4 is not 2. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. 48 divided by 5. If it's a decimal, don't even write it down. It's not a factor. They need to be whole numbers. 48 divided by 6. So I'm just going up and I'm just finding numbers, okay? Finding the factors, 6 and 8. Ooh, can I get 2 that way? I can. Okay, 6 and 8. What do I have to subtract? Well, 8 minus 6 is 2. Not 6 minus 8. That would be negative 2. So it's 8 and negative 6. All right, and then you want to check it. Does 8 times negative 6 multiply to negative 48? Yep, a negative times a positive is a negative, and 8 minus 6 is 2. Wonderful. Okay, how do I write this out? I'm going to write this out in factored form as n, use the variable they give you, n minus 6 times n plus 8. Another question that I've gotten on your Edpuzzle is, does the order matter, Ms. Cullen? No, we are multiplying, so it does not matter. It does matter which one is negative, but it does not matter the order. Okay, make that a little bit smaller so we have some room, or I'll just scooch this over here. So we have our room for our next problem. All right, our next problem, our first question we're asking ourselves is, do we have a GCF? Okay, it would normally be your A. Okay, well, can I divide 9 by 2 and 9, I guess it's both 9, by 2? No, not to get a whole number. So I know that there is no GCF. I can't divide all these by 2, and I definitely can't divide it by 9. So a is greater than 1, which means I have to use one of my box methods. Another thing I got from most of you was that you prefer box method 1. So I'm really going to be focusing on that this review. Now, you may use box method 2 if you want to, but I'm going to use box method 1 most of the time while showing you this. Okay, so I'm going to set up my box. My a goes up here, 2b squared, 9b goes down here, and 9 goes up here. Always start with your prime number. So I know this is going to be 2b and 1b. Okay, order doesn't matter here, they're prime. All right, what are some factors of 9? Well, I have 9 and 1 or 3 and 3. Okay, let's try the smaller numbers first. We normally have more luck with that. So let's see, 3 times 3. All right, that multiplies to 9. Now let's multiply across. I have 6b and 3b. Do those add to my bottom? Yep, they do. Okay, so my factored form are the cross values. 2b plus 3 times b plus 3. In order doesn't matter there. Okay, check yourself, see if you got those right, and if not, figure out where you went wrong. All right, let's come down here, and I'm going to do the evens with you down here. Okay, you guys should be getting a hang of this. I'm not going to do every problem with you. I'm going to do the evens with you. All right, so let's start with number 2. My first question is there a GCF? Nope, no GCF, and a is 1, which means I can just do my x method. I need 2 numbers that multiply to 72 and add to negative 17. Okay, so I'm going to go through some numbers here. 72 divided by 2, 72 divided by 3. Try them all out. Okay, to make this video not go too slow, I can also just know, okay, 9 times 8, I know is 72, and I know that those add to negative 17. Well, not negative 17, right? That'd be positive 17. How do we get these numbers to multiply to a positive and add to a negative? They both have to be negative. Negative 9 minus 8 is negative 17, and negative times a negative is a positive, which means I can write this, use the same variable as b minus 9 times b minus 8, and that is in factored form. Okay, let's come down to number 4. My first question is, do I have a GCF? Do we have a GCF here? Well, I can't divide 2 or 3 by 8, and I can't take out a 2, so no GCF, and a is greater than 1, which automatically means I can't do x method here. I got to choose a box method. So I'm going to do box method 1. 8y squared goes up here, my b goes down here, and my c goes here. Okay, like I said, always start with your prime number, guys. So I'm going to start here, 3 times 1. You'll notice that I'm going to wait for the negatives too. I always wait to add the negative. I don't know which one's going to be negative yet. I don't know if it's going to be my 3 or my 1. I got to kind of figure out the rest of my puzzle first. Okay, I started with 3 and 1 because those are the only 2 values that go to 3. I have other options for 8. So I'm going to have to erase some things here and guess and check here. Start with the thing you know, then go to the guess and check. Okay, you do not always have to start with A. All right, because 8, I have 8 and 1, or I have 4 and 2. Okay, so let's try some things here. What about 4 and 2? This would give me 12. Sorry, of course it's y and y. This would give me 12 and 2. Are those going to get me to 2y anyway? No way. So I have to erase it. Okay, let's flip the values. Always try flipping the values. Okay, what if I had 2 up here and 4 down here? Let's multiply across now. That would give me 6y and 4y. Oh, can I get 2y somehow? Yeah. What do I have to do to get 2y? I have to subtract this 4y, right? Which means my 1 is negative. Okay, because I'm trying to get to negative 3. You have to finish that puzzle and say, okay, well, if I make that negative, this has to be negative. It doesn't come from here, guys, because that would be a negative 8y. Your puzzle has to match up horizontally and vertically. Okay, so this needs to multiply to this, and these need to add to this down here. Okay, my puzzle's all set. Everything matches up. So my values are 2y minus 1 times 4y plus 3. Remember, always check your answers, especially when you're taking tests or quizzes. Multiply it out and see if you get that up there. All right, 6. Do I have a GCF? No. Is A greater than 1? No. Cool, let's do box method. Negative 120 and negative 7. Two numbers that multiply to negative 120 and add to negative 7. Okay, so try a bunch of different values here. Maybe pause the video, try to find the factors of 120, 12 and 10. That's not going to give me 7. Okay, you already know divided by 2, right? That's not going to give you 7. You need two numbers that are kind of close to each other. All right, so if you keep going, you eventually get to 8. 8 times 15 is 120. And I know that 15 minus 8 is 7, so maybe I can do something with those numbers here. 15 and 8. Let's see. All right, if I do minus 8, it'll give me negative 120, but it'll give me a positive 7, right? 15 minus 8 is positive 7. I want a negative 7, which means it must be negative 15 plus 8 will give me negative 7. I'm going to use my variable up here, m minus 15 times m plus 8. Once again, if you're not confident in your negatives, multiply it out and see if you get that answer up there. All right, and the last problem on this page is number 8 that I'm going to do with you, and you should recognize this as dots, okay? Difference of squares. Why? I have a subtraction sign first off. That's your number 1 hint. I only have 2 numbers. That's another hint. And I can take the square root of c squared and get c, and I can take the square root of 144 and get 12. So if I can take the square root of this and the square root of this and get a perfect square, I can write it in the form c plus 12 times c minus 12, or vice versa. Doesn't matter. And I'm done. Okay? Let's turn to the next page. All right, and let's do number 1 together here. So I have 2 different examples. Okay, let's start with number 1 here. We have an example, this example, and then we have this example, and they're asking us questions. So it says, which example is in factored form? Okay, you should know that example 1 is factored form. Okay, then I'm going to do number 3. It says, which example will you multiply? We can't multiply anything in example 2. We can combine like terms, we can take out a GCF, but we cannot multiply anything. We can multiply in example 1 again. Okay, so let's do those problems. This is from the beginning of the chapter, okay? When we are in factored form and we want to get into standard form, we're going to multiply each term. So we start here. X times x is x squared. X times 7 is 7x. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. And negative 4 times 7 is negative 28. Now, don't forget, you can also do the box method if you want. We learned about that at the beginning of the chapter. If you'd like to set this up as x, negative 4x, 7, and multiply within. X times x is x squared, negative 4 times x is negative 4x, negative 4 times 7 is negative 28, and x, 7x, and combine these. That's the same thing, okay? Either way, when we combine our like terms, 7x minus 4x is 3x, and we have negative 28. And now we have it in standard form, okay? So standard form, quadratic, or factored form. Okay, let's come here. Whoa, there's a lot going on here. I need to find a GCF. There's definitely a GCF here. Now, some of you might say, oh, it's the smallest number, right? In this column, it's 8. But 20 doesn't divide 8, guys. So we need to find a number that all 3 of these can be divided by. Okay, so start thinking of your numbers. Well, 16 divides by 2. These all divide by 2. Yeah, so we want the GCF, the greatest common factor. Okay, so let's try another one. What else does 16 divide by? 16 divides by 4. Does 20 divide by 4? Yep. Does 8 divide by 4? Yep. Okay, there's no higher number for 8. 4 and 2 are the highest numbers other than 8, and these don't divide by 8, so we stop there. Okay, we take out that 4 for these terms. But we can't forget about our variables. So I'm going to look at my x. I have x to the fourth here, I have x to the third here, and I have x to the third here. So how many x's can I take out? Remember, you cannot take out more than you have, so I can take out 3 x's. That's a lot, though. That's good. Then I'm going to come here to my y's. I have y to the fifth, y to the third, and y squared. So how many y's can I take out? Just 2, y squared. Okay? Then I'm going to write in parentheses what I have left when I take this out. 16 divided by 4, that will give me 4. Okay? I took out 3 x's, which means I have 1 left. I took out 2 y's, which means I have 3 left. 5 minus 2 is 3. Remember, you're subtracting the exponents. Minus, I took out 20 divided by 4. That's 5. I took out 3 x's, so they're all gone. I took out 2 y's, so there's 1 left. Remember, you do this term by term. Plus, 8 divided by 4 is 2. I took away 3 x's, so they're gone, and I took away 2 y's, so they're gone. That's all I have left there. Okay? So I check in here. Is there anything else I can take out? Nope. That's my final answer. 4x cubed y squared times 4x y cubed minus 5y plus 2. And I'm good to go. Okay? Let's come down here. Down here, I'm actually going to do the odds with you real quick. Okay? Factor by taking out GCF, it says. All right? But here, you might look at this and say, what about difference of squares, Miss Collin? I have 2 terms, subtraction. I can take the square root of both. Correct. But be careful. You'll see this on the next page too. First, we want to take out that GCF. Okay? So, what can I take out of both terms here? Okay? You're going to ask yourself, well, does 100 divide 4? Can I take out the 4? Yeah, right? What is 100 divided by 4? Take that 4 out. I'm left with x squared minus 25. Okay? Now, I still have difference of squares here because I can take the square root of x squared and I can take the square root of 25. Okay? So we're going to bring down that 4. We always bring down our GCF, and I can write this in dots. X minus 5 times x plus 5. Square root of x is x, the square root of 5 is, or 25 is 5. All right, let's come here to number 5. What can I take out a 2 from both terms? Yep, and what else can I take out? I can take out an x cubed. What am I left with? Well, I'm left with x to the second, 5 minus 3 is 2, plus 7, 14 divided by 2 is 7, and I took out all 3 of those x's, so that's all I have. Can I take out anything more? No, this is not a difference of squares. There's no subtraction sign, and I can't take the square root of 7. So I'm going to leave it as that. Okay. The next page is all difference of squares. So I know a couple of you have said you've been struggling with that. Let's go through them. We're going to cruise through all of the odds. So hopefully if you were feeling insecure about these before, you will feel better when we go through these problems. Okay. Remember to look for a GCF still, just because we're doing difference of squares. So I'm going to kind of go through these pretty fast because there's a lot of the odds. Okay, and difference of squares, all we need to remember is a minus b times a plus b, or a plus b times a minus b, where we take the square root of a and we take the square root of b. So I can take the square root of 9x squared and the square root of 1. Guys, the square root of 1 is just 1. What is the square root of 9x squared? That's 3x. So I have 3x minus 1 times 3x plus 1. There's my A, there's my B. Let's keep going. Can I take the square root of this? Yep, there's no GCF. 36k squared. That will be 6k. Okay. Square root of 1 is 1. Doesn't matter the order. So if you want to do minus 1 plus 1 for all of them, that's fine. Okay, now look at number 5. All right, let's pause for a second. I have 2x squared minus 18. Do I have a GCF here? Okay, I cruised through these because my other term was 1, so you just don't have a GCF. But here I have 2 numbers, so let's look for a GCF. Can I take something out? Yeah, I can take out a 2. Okay, when I do that, I have x squared minus 9. I can keep going here. I can take the square root, but make sure you bring that 2 with you. Okay, the square root of x is just x, and the square root of 9 is 3. So I have x minus 3, x plus 3. Okay, same thing for number 7. I'm going to look for a GCF. Can I take 5 out of both of these? Yep. When I take 5 out, I have 36 m squared minus 1. Oh, wow, that looks a lot like this one, right? So I'm going to bring that 5 out in front. What is the square root of 36m squared? That's 6m. What's the square root of 1? Just 1. 6m minus 1, 6m plus 1. Okay? Hopefully you're starting to notice the pattern here. Okay, you just need to know the perfect squares. All right, let's come here. Do I have a GCF? Absolutely. It might take you a little bit to find that GCF. Okay? I can't just divide by 216, or I can't just divide by 150. Let's see. What are some things here? Maybe you try 5. Maybe you try 3. 6 is a good GCF here. When I do that, I have 25k squared minus 36. And these are both perfect squares. So I'm going to bring that 6 out in front. And the square root of 25k squared is 5k. The square root of 36 is 6. So I have 5k minus 6 times 5k plus 6. All right, let's keep going here. Can I take out a GCF? Do both of these divide by 3? Yep. And I have n squared minus 25. Okay. Bring that 3 out in front. Square root of n is just n. Square root of 25 is 5. So n minus 5 times n plus 5. All right, same thing here. There's no GCF, but I can take the square root of a squared, and I can take the square root of 25b squared. Okay, so I have a minus 5b, okay, because the square root of 25 is 5b, times a plus 5b. All right, let's look at number 15. Oh no, red flag. What's wrong with this one? Pause for a second. What's wrong with this one? What's wrong with it? The addition sign, guys. We're missing that subtraction. So this is a trick question. It's not a difference. So we cannot do the difference of squares. Okay, let's come here. 17. Well, this is going to break into x minus 3y times x plus 3y. This one, okay? Can we take out a GCF here? Yeah, we can take out a 3. So if I take out that 3, I have 3x squared minus 4y squared. Okay. But actually, we have a perfect square here. Whoa, major brain fart by Miss Cullen. This is awesome. Help me. What did Miss Cullen do wrong here? She made a huge mistake. Does 16 divide by 3, my friends? Heck no! Miss Cullen, you're losing it. That's what quarantine does to you, huh? Okay. No, there's no GCF here, Miss Cullen. Trick question. I gotcha. Okay. But I can take the square root of 9x squared, and I can take the square root of 16y squared. Square root of 9x squared is 3x, and this is 4y. So I have 3x minus 4y, 3x plus 4y. Okay. Same thing here. Yes, it is to the 4th power. Okay. Yes. That doesn't matter. That's fine. Okay, if we take the square root of a 4th power, it's just squared then. So this is 6a squared minus 5b squared times 6a squared plus 5b squared. Okay, taking the square root of a 4th just makes it squared. Okay, same thing here. Number 23. Oh, there's a GCF here. I can take out a 5. Are you sure, Miss Cullen? I hope so, because I'm clearly losing my mind a little. And that gives me 25m to the 4th minus 4n to the 4th. Okay, that's a difference of squares. Make sure to bring that 5 with you. I have 5m squared minus 2n squared times 5m squared plus 2n squared. Okay, a couple more here. I can take out a 4, so I have x to the 4th minus 36y to the 4th. This can be broken up into 4 times x squared minus 6y squared times x squared plus 6y squared. Okay. I want you to try number 27. My hint is you have a GCF of 7. Okay, so when you do that, how do you break this up? And for 29, the 6th power doesn't really change much, except that this will be broken up into 4m cubed. Okay, it's cubed minus n cubed, because 6, if you're taking the square root, you're dividing it by 2. Okay, times 4m cubed plus n cubed. Okay, so that's how that works there. Now, I'll give you a little hint here. I want you guys to try all of these through 30 on this side. Real quick little hint here. You can pause the video, and these are the answers, so you can check. Just for this page, though, okay, you're going to finish everything we didn't do on pages 47 through 49, because those are fair game for your homework quiz. You guys can check your answers with this when you are done with page 49, okay, to make sure that you did these right, and have a great day.